Leon?
Yeah.
Guys, I've been hyped for Resident Evil games basically my whole gaming life. And I thought I had seen every kind of gruesome, horrifying, and just outright brutal moments this franchise could throw at me. But then Requiem comes along, and suddenly, every scarier moment from old games feels like child's play compared to what we're seeing now. Right now, people are straight up calling it the most brutal Resident Evil game ever made. And after watching the latest Requiem gameplay showcases and community reactions, I totally get why. Let me start with something people absolutely can't stop talking about online: the over-the-top violence. Fans have been flooding Reddit and other forums with clips and comments about just how visceral the moment-to-moment action looks. There's one clip that keeps getting reposted where Leon just blasts a zombie, and its head explodes in such an outrageous way that people couldn't help but laugh and scream at the same time. One user even joked about Leon shooting an enemy in the worst possible place, which honestly made everyone crack up while also kind of squirming because it's Resident Evil. And yeah, that's exactly the kind of chaos this game seems ready to deliver. But here's the thing, this brutality isn't just about ridiculous gore for gore's sake. Requiem actually blends two totally different gameplay styles with its two protagonists. And somehow, that makes the brutality feel even more intense. When you're playing as Grace Ashcroft, you're stuck in this tight, claustrophobic horror situation where ammo is scarce. Threats are around every corner, and every decision feels like life or death. It's a pace that pulls you tight, and then just when you think you're about to catch your breath, BAM! A creature jumps out, or you're forced into some gritty melee moment where you're stabbing a zombie right in the eye to get free. Fans are already saying that those moments feel even more brutal and graphic than what we saw in the Resident Evil 2 remake. And that's saying something because that game set the bar high for modern horror brutality. Then you switch over to Leon's sections, and it's like Capcom flipped a switch entirely. While Grace's gameplay is terrifying and tense, Leon's side is straight up adrenaline pumping, limb-blown, enemy-smashing action. The showcase revealed that he's got a hatchet now, and he can parry attacks and set up brutal finishing blows. This isn't your old knife from earlier games. This is a tool that means business. Leon can aim for zombie legs, stagger them, and finish them off in some sick way. And get this, he can pick up enemy weapons, including chainsaws, and literally saw zombies in half mid-combat. It's the kind of thing that makes you cheer and recoil at the same time, because it's graphic, it's intense, and it feels satisfying as hell. What's wild is how Capcom intentionally designed this duality. They tried at first to build the whole game as a serious horror story with Leon, but they realized, and I honestly agree with this, that we wouldn't want timid Leon. The dude is an icon for kicking ass, not hiding in closets. So they leaned into that, and that decision seems to be the core of why people are calling it the most brutal entry yet. Leon's gameplay isn't just scaring you, it's letting you wreak havoc on the infected in ways we haven't really seen before in a mainline Resident Evil game. And yet, the horror isn't gone. Grace's world is still packed with those surreal, unsettling moments that make your skin crawl. Enemies aren't just mindless monsters either. They retain weird quirks from when they were alive. We're talking zombies that shuffle around doing tasks they always did, like a zombie janitor still trying to clean hallways even though its head has been smashed in. It's these kind of details that add a psychological twist to the brutality, because it feels wrong and creepy at the same time as it feels intense. That's something that the franchise has always toyed with, but this time it feels more relentless, more immersive, and more raw. Everything about Requiem feels like Capcom is trying to pull every emotional thread they can. Fear, revulsion, exhilaration, relief, shock, and toss it at you all in one go. And because there are these two completely different styles, Grace being hunted while Leon hunting, the tonal swings feel huge. One minute you're hiding and praying you don't get eaten alive, and the next you're hacking a zombie's arm off to get through a crowd. That contrast alone makes the brutality hit beautifully, because it's not a one-note song, it's a symphony of emotions. There's also the whole design philosophy Capcom has talked about with Requiem, something about addictive fear. They want to create this feeling where tension builds and then releases, then builds again, and so on. It's why you can switch between first and third person perspectives. First person makes everything feel real and in your face, while third person lets you see the chaos you're causing from just the right angle to make those brutal moments pop visually. I really think that's a big reason why people are reacting the way they are, because the game leans into its horror and action with no apologies. I know some people were worried this might turn into another Resident Evil 6 style mishmash where nothing feels grounded, but honestly, from what we've seen so far, it feels much more intentional. The horror moments are scary, tense, and atmospheric, exactly what hardcore fans have been craving. And the action is visceral, brutal, and emotionally intense. And in the middle of all that, the enemies themselves are freaky enough that even if you survive a brutal fight, your brain is still screaming, "Why did I just do that?" At the end of the day, when people say Resident Evil Requiem might be the most brutal game the series has ever seen, they're not just talking about gore. They're talking about how the game makes you feel every moment of that gore. Whether it's a desperate fight for survival, a gruesome execution, or a grotesque moment that makes your stomach flip, this game looks like it's designed to put you through the emotional ringer. And that's exactly what I want from a Resident Evil game. When Requiem drops on February 27, 2026, mark my words, this is going to be one hell of a ride. Brutal, beautiful in its chaos, and unforgettable.
Everyone's gone.
Stay away from that!